turning into a monster, the Stanford Prison Experiment. Think about it. How far could a simple role push you? In 1971, social psychologist Philip Zimbardo took 24 completely healthy college students and divided them into two groups, guards and prisoners. Within just 24 hours, those good kids with absolutely no criminal background turned into sadistic monsters the moment they put on a guard uniform. They stripped the prisoners naked, deprived them of sleep, and subjected them to brutal psychological torture. The experiment, originally planned to last 2 weeks, had to be shut down on the sixth day because it spiraled completely out of control. Isn't it terrifying how quickly power can wake up the monster inside a human being? The button that kills conscience, the Milgram Experiment. Does saying, "I was just following orders," actually make a person innocent? Stanley Milgram wanted to find out if ordinary people would inflict lethal electric shocks on a stranger simply because an authority figure told them to. Even though they could hear the person in the next room screaming in agony, 65% of the participants kept pressing the button all the way up to a lethal 450 volts just because a specialist in a white lab coat calmly said, "Please continue." In reality, no one was actually being shocked, but the participants believed it was real. They kept pressing that button, fully believing they were killing someone. Stealing a baby's innocence, the little Albert experiment. This one is truly heartbreaking. John B. Watson took a defenseless 9-month-old baby named Albert and literally taught him how to feel terror. Whenever little Albert reached out to touch a soft white laboratory rat, the researchers would strike a steel bar with a hammer right behind him, creating a deafening, terrifying noise. The result? Little Albert didn't just become terrified of rats. For the rest of his life, he developed severe phobias of rabbits, dogs, and even the white beard of a Santa Claus mask. Stripping away a child's innocence for the sake of science. Absolutely chilling. A child stripped of identity, the David Reimer case. Imagine your entire life being built on a complete lie, all because of one doctor's radical theory. In 1966, following a botched circumcision accident, Dr. John Money convinced a grieving family to surgically alter their baby boy, David, and raise him as a girl. Dr. Money wanted to prove that gender identity is entirely learned, not biological. He subjected David to years of intense psychological manipulation and forced him to wear dresses. But David never felt like a girl. When he finally discovered the truth during his teenage years, his life spiraled into a devastating tragedy. How far can science go before it completely destroys a soul? The Monster Study. The name of this experiment alone tells you everything you need to know. In 1939, Wendell Johnson gathered 22 innocent orphans for a speech study. He praised half of the children for their speech, boosting their confidence. But for the other half, he brutally targeted every tiny mistake, labeling them as stutterers and openly mocking them. Here is the twisted part. Those children didn't have speech impediments to begin with. However, due to the intense psychological abuse, many of them developed lifelong stutters, severe anxiety, and muteness. The study was so unethical that it was kept a secret for decades just to protect the researchers' reputations.